So everybody, now what we're going to do is we're going to be going through the flexibility side of this. Again, the three-legged stool of correction is to get your body moving. Again, it says getting your adjustments in that rhythm and frequency to help restore motion to those segments that are subluxated and not moving correctly. It's also breaking those bad habits and then getting your body flexible and strong enough to help support those changes. So what we're going to be doing right here is we're going to be going through a flexibility routine, and what we're going to be using is, and this is probably something that most of you haven't done before, but what we're going to do is we're going to use what we call a flex band or a stretch band. So you can get these at Red Tag Fitness uptown here, in town here, and they're relatively inexpensive. You're looking at about 25 or 30 bucks. And all you need is the purple band. It's nice and easy, and we're going to be using this to help our bodies stretch. Now, this is great for people who have typically or traditionally not been flexible, so that you can use this as an assist to help you get a little more tension on the muscles and help move through the ranges of motion with a little bit of tension. Now, the good news is that you can control the tension, and I'm going to show you how here in a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this band and we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put it right around our body, and we're going to go right underneath, up underneath the underarms. So as we get right in here, we have our band right here. It's wrapped underneath my arms. Then we're going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to lay down flat onto our back. So as I lay down, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this right over my foot. Now, when I lay back here, I'm going to lay back and I'm going to be able to pull this leg up straight. Now notice there's not a lot of tension here. This isn't an overly strong band, but I can apply more tension as needed to help keep the leg straight. So I'm going to define this right now. This is a straight leg, no bend in the knee. Here's a bent leg. That's the difference, straight and bent. I don't want to see too much of this. You're not really stretching the muscles. So what I want you to do is keep that leg straight, and what we're going to do is we're going to hold this in a static stretch position, meaning that we're not moving. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to stretch it. We're going to hold that for 20 seconds. So we're going to hold that leg straight. We're going to call it 19 and 20. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move the leg down, and we're going to do what's called a heel strike. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our leg all the way down, touch our heel to the floor, and then we're going to come all the way back up. And we're going to stretch it, and then we're going to go all the way down and touch it to the floor. And we're going to do that 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull back a little bit further here. I'm going to keep that knee straight. It's more important to keep the knee straight than it is how far you're pulling back the leg. So we want to keep the knee straight, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep that leg straight, and we're going to pull back, and we're going to call it 19. We're going to do another 20 seconds. 19 and 20. Then we're going to do the heel strikes again. So we're going to go down, touch the floor, back up. We're going to do that 10 more times. And you can do that as fast or as slow as is comfortable for you. There we go, and 10. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch feet. I'm going to switch my feet just by putting the other foot in, and then I can go right back. Now you may notice, especially if you have a pelvic imbalance, you may notice that one hamstring is tighter than the other. So what we're going to do is we would start with that hamstring, and then what we're going to do is we're going to finish with that hamstring. So you start, you do one on that side, and then you do an extra set on that side. Now we're going to go ahead and hold it for 20 seconds, 19 and 20. We're going to do those 10 heel strikes and bring it on down, nice and easy. This is actually moving the muscle through that range of motion is going to help to warm up the muscle as we prepare to do our next exercise. Now this is to work the back of the hamstrings, and especially right through the belly. It's stretching right in there. 10, and then we're going to pull back for 20 seconds again. 18, 19, 20, and then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that. So again, you're going to do 2 times through each one. You should be able to get a little further back. But again, here's the disclaimer. We want to listen to our bodies, folks. We don't want to be hurting ourselves or feeling something pull to the point where we're feeling some pain and tenderness, it might be a little uncomfortable, but you shouldn't be in any real pain. And if you are, I want you to stop, lighten that up, even if you have to go all the way down here. So lighten up that range of motion. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch back to this leg. We're going to go through, and what we're going to do is we're going to take with a bent knee now. We're going to go ahead, bend the knee, and we're going to pull back as far as we can. So here we go. That's as far as bent as I want it. I just have my knee not locked. Then what we're going to do is we're going to hold it for another 10 seconds on this one. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pump the leg straight 10 times. So we're just going to lock the knee and let it back. Lock the knee and let it release. Lock the knee, let it release. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're going to bend the knee and we're going to pull back just a little bit further. So we should feel that engage right through here. Now this should be stretching that upper hamstring and that lower glute area. So as we're coming back here, we're going to hold that for another 10, and then we're going to hold it 9 and 10. Here we go, and we're going to pump it straight 10 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Lock it out and hold it for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Now you're going to switch over and repeat on the opposite side. So what we've done here is we've stretched the hamstrings, both the upper and lower hamstrings, and what we're going to do is we're going to stretch the adductors and abductors. So we're going to start with the adductors. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come all the way up here. Now I can take this arm and just put it inside of my band and help open up that hip. I want to keep this hip flat on the ground, my shoulders flat on the ground, and we're just going to open up the hip so that we can actually stretch those adductor muscles. Now, we're going to breathe, and these we're just going to do in a static stretch. Simple, easy, and effective. We're going to hold that for 19 and 20, and then what I want you to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch sides. We're going to hold it on the other side. We're going to hold it for another 20 seconds. You don't want to put a lot of force in here while you're stretching. You want to make sure that you're maintaining just an easy stretch on there and not forcing it. If you feel, again, something hurt, I want you to stop, lighten up that tension, and listen to your body. And relax, and then you're going to repeat on the other side as well. So we should be able to do 2 sets on each side for a 20-second stretch, and that's going to be opening up the hip. Now as I come over here, we're going to put that back on. What we're going to do is we're going to now pull across the body. We opened up, we stretched the abductors. Now what we're going to, the adductors, we're going to stretch the abductors now. So we're going to go all the way over and across, and we're going to lean flat out here right onto this side. We're going to keep our shoulder against the ground, and we're going to try and get this all the way across so that it touches the other side. So we're going to go up and across, and we're just going to hold this for 20 seconds each side. Now you should be able to breathe and comfortably, and make sure that you're getting a lot of air in as you're doing these exercises, but you want to maintain the shoulders against the floor and then pull across the midline of the body. And we're going to hold that for 20 seconds, and then we're going to repeat on the opposite side for another 20. So as we go across here, I'm keeping my head and my shoulders and everything relaxed and on the floor as I pull across the midline of the body. Make sure we're breathing deep and blowing all the way out. This is going to help stretch the glutes. It's going to help to stretch the TFL and the IT bands as well. So what we want to do is we want to keep that going across and right from there. Deep breath in and all the way out. Another 20 seconds. Now you are going to repeat on both sides. So now let's go ahead, and we've stretched the abductors, adductors. What we're going to do is we're going to start stretching the quadriceps and the psoas muscle. So the easiest way to stretch our quadriceps for people who have a difficult time standing and doing it with balance issues, you can lay right on your side here. you're just going to reach the leg back. You're going to go ahead and you're going to pull your heel towards your bum without extending the hip. So we're just going to go right here, and then you should be able to feel a nice gentle stretch there. If your knee is restricted and you have a knee issue, then you really want to adhere to listen to your body here. Don't force the range of motion, but you should put it to a stretch if you can. Of course, if there's any issues doing this stretch, you're going to want to consult a healthcare professional and make sure that you're doing it right and you're not going to hurt yourself. So when we go right here, we're going to go ahead and we are going to stretch these muscles right here, quadriceps. They're the big four in the front. Hip flexors. I'm going to show you hip flexors are a muscle group that we constantly, because we sit in a chair all day long, our hip flexors are designed to do one thing, and that's to put our hip into flexion. Now, if you notice this, it looks like I'm sitting in a chair here. So a muscle's natural tendency is going to be to shorten. So if I'm working out and running and doing all this stuff and then I go and sit in a chair all day, my natural tendency of those muscles are going to be to shorten. And that's where we start getting that when you go to get up out of a chair, it's like everything, oh. Now your psoas muscles, they attach to the lumbar spine. So basically L1, 2, 3, and 4. We see that these are the origins of these muscles, and where it inserts is down into the top of the thigh. So when we see people who have tight psoas and hip flexors, this tends to force forward the lumbar spine, and it creates that almost sway back. So imagine if you're walking around and you have a dumbbell hanging around your waist and it's really pulling your hips forward and hyperextending your lumbar spine, that's going to get irritated. It's going to produce inflammation. That inflammation is going to create nerve irritation. That's going to create this spasm. So and then we see those muscles start to get even tighter and contracted. So it's important that once we get those spinal segments moving, that you're accomplishing this psoas muscle stretch, and you should be starting that within the second week of care. So when we go right in through here, the psoas muscle, I'm going to go ahead, and this is the easiest way to do this. I can put my hands on my knees just like I'm taking a photo for a sport picture. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to have here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push my hips forward here so that I can feel a slight stretch on this hip here. So I'm going to feel that stretch. Here, I'm going to switch over. So I'm going to go right here so I can feel the hip being stretched right here. And then what I'm going to do from there is I'm just going to lean back a bit. Take a deep breath in, all the way out and lean back a bit. That's it. Detrimental, we say sitting for your spine is like sugar for your teeth. When we're looking at this, we should be able to see, and this is what creates what we call that phantom sciatica or that piriformis syndrome, where it actually sends it down from the middle of your buttock all the way down into the back of your thighs and into your legs. We're seeing that sciatic nerve actually pierces through this muscle. So an easy way to stretch it is going to be to lay flat onto your back. You're going to put your knee up, and you can lift this leg up here, and then you're going to push down and away on the knee. So I'm creating a figure 4, if you will, with my leg, and I'm going to push down and away with my knee. And you're going to feel that nice stretch right across through here. So again, we're going to stretch out that piriformis. If you do this every day, you're going to notice a huge improvement in not only your flexibility and range of motion, but you're going to notice on how well you're able to move and feel and accomplish and strengthen the rest of the tasks that we assign you to do.